Hey friends, it's Jess Jericho, and first I need to clarify that if your only options are between wet food and dry food, all types of wet food win against all types of dry food. Any wet food is better than any type of dry food simply because wet food has high moisture and dry food does not. But if you want to do better than that, these are the brands that I would avoid. So the first worst wet cat food brand that we'll look at is called Meow Mix. And this product name is called with tuna and shrimp. So that word with means that the composition of tuna and shrimp is between 3 and 24.9% combined. When we look at the ingredients, we have tuna and then fish broth. What type of fish is used in that fish broth? These are the questions that we need to ask because they know that there's tuna and then later in the list they specify other fish ingredients. But for the second ingredient, which is second heaviest in the product, they have no idea. It just says fish broth. What kind of fish? You knew for the other ones that you could clarify which fish, but not for the fish broth. Fish is to be expected because it's on the product name rule. But at the same time, I would like to add that a con to fish in general is that cats often develop an addiction to fish, so this can cause picky eating. Let me know in the comments if your cat has or is currently eating a fish-flavored food and how picky they are with new food. Cats in general are very picky, but fish just enhances that pickiness. Then we have further down the ingredients list, soybean oil, thickeners like guar gum and carrageenan. And carrageenan is actually linked to internal ulcerations and neoplasms in animals. So it's definitely something that we want to avoid. Then we see tricalcium phosphate, and these phosphates are pet food flavor enhancer palatants. They use them to entice the cat to eat more of it. And these phosphates are specifically linked to renal issues in cats. The next worst wet cat food brand that we'll look at is called 9 Lives. And this product name has the same rule with, and I love how it says with real beef. Like, why would you need to clarify real beef? It should already be real beef without you having to say real beef. Water is first, so that's most of the food, and then we have meat byproducts. Doesn't that sound so appetizing? So this is a problem because meat byproducts is very vague. So we don't know what type of meat and we don't know which type of byproducts. And this is an issue because there are other cat food brands that specify, they'll say chicken liver, turkey heart, beef lung, but this one just says meat byproducts. So how do we know what type of meat and what type of parts they're using if the manufacturer doesn't even know? Meat byproducts could literally mean any type of meat, and when I say literally any type of meat, I mean literally every type of meat. There was a CRS report sent to Congress on the animal rendering industry. Let's take a look and read it together to see what they say about byproducts. Renderers convert dead animals and animal byproducts into ingredients for a wide range of industrial and consumer goods, such as animal feed and other personal care products for humans. Sources for these materials include meat slaughtering and processing plants, those are the primary ones, but also dead animals from farms, ranches, feedlots, marketing barns, animal shelters, and other facilities and fats, grease, and other food waste from restaurants and stores. Now, no worries, I have solutions for you. Stick around until the end and I'll tell you how you can get my free cat food course. Now, in the wild, cats would eat dead animals. I understand that. They would catch and kill their prey and then eat them while they're dead. But they wouldn't eat dead animals from animal shelters, nor would they choose to eat grocery food waste and fats and grease from restaurants. Additionally, I can purchase byproducts at my local grocery store that are fit for human consumption, like turkey tails, chicken necks, chicken backs, cow tongue, all types of different kidneys, pork fat, pork tails, pork ears. And many of these are considered byproducts. So what kind of leftovers or secondary products are actually going into cat food? Next, we have beef and chicken. So they knew that they were using beef and chicken in the product, and they clarified for that, but they didn't know what the meat byproducts were. It's kind of like bologna, like let's just throw everything all together. And we know that there's less than 25% beef in the product because of the product name that says with beef. If it had at least 25%, it would say beef recipe or beef dinner, beef platter. It would have one of those descriptive words instead of just saying with beef. So we know that the meat byproducts, aka the mysterious, we have no idea what it is is the majority of this composition of the product. Then we have soy, wheat flour, food starch. These are not appropriate for cats and actually can cause harm to them. Then we have steamed bone meal. What type of bone are they using? What animal is it coming from? And what type of bone is it? Which part is it? And that word meal also indicates that it's a rendered ingredient, and rendered ingredients can include 4D meats. This is on AAFCO's website. 4D meats stands for dead, diseased, dying, disabled. Again, I understand cats in the wild would eat dead animals. However, some of these animals that are dead, diseased, and dying and disabled could be receiving medicinal drugs at the farm or ranch, and then they could be put down before they go to the slaughtering house, and they need to use drugs to put them down as well. And there are recalls for pet food for containing these euthanasia drugs, and that explains how it happens. Next, we have sodium tripolyphosphate. Again, that polyphosphate is a pet food flavor enhancer, and they are linked to renal issues, specifically in cats. Give me a polydactyl thumbs up if this is helpful so far, so more cat parents that want to feed their cats better can find this video. Thank you. The next worst wet cat food brand that we'll look at is called Purina Friskies with beef. So we have the same rule here, less than 25% beef, and it says in savory gravy. And just look at that nice grilled burger. Doesn't it make your mouth water? That's exactly what cats would be doing out in the wild, right? Like steaming burgers, cooking on the grill with savory gravy. It's perfect. So we have liver, meat, byproducts, poultry. So right here we have three mystery meats. Liver, where did the liver come from? Meat, byproducts, what type of meat? What type of byproducts? Poultry. Poultry is so many different types of birds. Ostrich, emu, turkey, chicken, like which is it? Where did this liver come from? Where are these meat byproducts coming from? What type of poultry is it? Beef is listed, but we know from the product name rule that there's less than 25% beef. So the only specifically named meat ingredient, we know that there's less than 25% of it. Then we have wheat gluten, soy, corn flour. These are not appropriate for cats. They're all cheap fillers. Wheat gluten and starch can cause allergies, and soy can cause bloating. Then we have more phosphates, mono and dicalcium phosphate and tricalcium phosphate. So again, these palatants just entice your cat to eat more of it, so it's actually nutritious, because going over the label, we know that there's not really that much quality protein there. And so they add these flavor enhancers to make the cat eat more of it so that it's actually nutritious. But then cats form an addiction to these palatants, and that causes picky eating. And these palatants, again, are linked to renal issues in cats. Now, I hear you saying, Jess, what can I feed my cat? There's a link to my free cat food course in the pinned comment, but you can also check out this playlist right over Meow. It covers how to transition to new foods gradually to please your picky cat, and cat food reviews of good quality cat foods. Thanks for watching.